As the chief author of this constitutional amendment in the Senate, I've gone through, I think it was 5 different committee hearings and 2 floor debates. And through that course, it became very, very obvious that Secretary of State Ritchie, from a personal standpoint, was in opposition to this constitutional amendment. It has always been my view that it is the job or the responsibility of the Secretary of State to implement election laws passed by the legislature, irrespective of the Secretary of State's personal political views. In point of fact, if we go to the Secretary of State's website, there is a portion of it in which he says, quote, "The Secretary of State is the chief election official in Minnesota and is responsible for the administration of the Minnesota election laws." I don't view Mark Ritchie as being some type of an election cop whose responsibility is to protect the people of the state of Minnesota from the legislature's bill on this constitutional amendment. Neither do I believe that he, using his position as Secretary of State, has a job to try and influence the outcome of this ballot initiative. A constitutional amendment in accordance with our state constitution is between the legislature and the people of the state of Minnesota. In this case, the legislature has passed a bill placing this matter on the ballot in the upcoming general election. And it is now up to the people of the state of Minnesota to decide whether or not they want to accept and pass this bill. It's my position that Secretary of State Ritchie has used his office and the prestige of his position as Secretary of State to try and influence the outcome of this ballot initiative. And in doing so, he has violated a number of Minnesota statutes. I think he has misused public funds for the purpose of trying to influence the outcome of this initiative. I think that he's got a conflict of interest between his personal political views and his position as Secretary of State. I think that he has violated the statute regarding political activities by state employees. I think he has attempted to influence the outcome of this ballot initiative by the use of false and misleading statements. And I think that if he is going to claim that he is somehow acting on his own initiative, personally taking this position, which I think is going to be very difficult for him to do, but if that is going to be his claim, then he has to form a committee for the purposes of opposing this ballot initiative, and he hasn't done that. So Senator Perry and I believe that simply by reason of Secretary of State's actions and his conduct and what he has said, we don't have any choice but to pursue these remedies in an attempt to force him to stop what we believe is the abuse of his office.